Hey besties, welcome back to Laughing Through It. Whether you're driving to work, getting ready for your day, cleaning your room because you've avoided it for 3 days, no judgment, or you're just hanging out with me because you need someone to talk to today, I'm really glad you're here. First, I want to say thank you. Seriously. Every message, every comment, every person who shared an episode, every time someone said, hey, I needed to hear that today. You have no idea how much that means to me. This podcast has become so much bigger than me sitting in a room talking into my phone. It's become a little community, and I don't take that for granted. Last week, we talked about people holding the mirror. We talked about those people who see something in us that we can't always see in ourselves. The people who remind us we're capable when we feel like we're falling. The people who remind us we're worthy when our insecurities get loud. The people who look at us and say, I know you don't see it right now, but I do. And after I finished recording that episode, I kept thinking, what happens after they put the mirror down? Because eventually your best friend goes home, the conversation ends, you leave therapy, your family isn't around, and it's just you. And your thoughts, your insecurities, and the voice in your head. And that's where confidence begins. Not because confident means you stop being scared, but because confidence is what carries you after everyone else has stopped reminding you who you are. I think we hear the word confidence so much that we've forgotten what it actually means. Social media tells us confidence is walking into a room like you own it. Confidence is posting the perfect selfie. Confidence is never doubting yourself. Confidence is always knowing exactly what to say. Honestly, I don't think that's confidence at all. I think confidence is much quieter than that. Confidence is wearing the outfit you've been too scared to wear, applying for the job even though you don't meet every qualification, introducing yourself to someone new, setting boundaries, saying no, saying yes, trying again after you failed. Confidence is doing the scary thing while your hands are still shaking. And if you listen to this podcast for a while, you know confidence has been a huge part of my journey. Not because I've always had it, quite the opposite. I've struggled with my weight, with my body image, with wondering if I was enough. I've struggled with comparing myself to everyone around me, with wondering if people would accept me. I've struggled with questioning my own decisions. And if I'm being honest, some days I still do. Because confidence isn't a finish line, it's something you practice. It's a relationship you build with yourself. And just like every relationship, there are good days and bad days. One thing I've realized lately is that sometimes before we build our own confidence, we borrow someone else's. Think about when you were a kid. Before you believed you could ride a bike, someone ran beside you. Before you believed you could swim, someone stayed in the water with you. Before you believed you could do hard things, someone believed it first. Why do we think adulthood is supposed to be different? Some seasons require borrowed confidence. Maybe it's your mom, your best friend, your coach, your sibling. Maybe it's someone you've never met who inspires you. Sometimes their belief keeps us moving until we finally believe it ourselves. And I don't think there's anything weak about that. In fact, I think that's one of the strongest things we can admit. Because we're not meant to do life alone. Support isn't weakness, it's fuel. And here's something I've learned. Support and validation aren't the same thing. Support says, I believe in you. Validation says, please tell me I'm enough. Support points you back toward yourself. Validation depends on someone else deciding your worth. And I spent a long time confusing these two. I wanted everyone to approve of me. I wanted everyone to like me. I wanted everyone to think I was doing enough. Looking back, I wasn't looking for confidence. I was looking for permission. Permission to be myself. Permission to take up space. To chase my dreams. To be happy. Then one day it hit me. I don't need permission. And neither do you. Now, does that mean I don't still lean on people? Absolutely not. I have people in my life who remind me who I am when I forget. People who challenge me, who celebrate my wins, who call me out when I need it. That's support. Support doesn't make you dependent. Healthy support makes you stronger. Because one day you stop borrowing confidence. One day you realize you're built your own. And that doesn't mean you'll never have bad days. It means your bad days stop convincing you that you're incapable. This past week and this week, my brain's kind of been scattered. And I think that's where I'm kind of struggling with this because this episode was supposed to be out Wednesday morning and it's most likely coming out Thursday morning, but that's fine. But I think that's where I faltered in my confidence, is I started worrying about what my followers wanted to hear and what people needed to relate to, instead of just talking about what's happening. And that's where I started with this podcast. Was I was doing it to hold myself accountable, and then I started getting listeners, and it was more or less trying to hold myself accountable and more of trying to figure it out and see what my listeners wanted instead of what I truly wanted to talk about. And so my ADHD is kind of all over the place, especially last week and this week. And some things are happening in my life where I am moving, and so that's making my brain a little scattered because I have to go through all that process. But I was talking to one of my friends last night, and he told me that I didn't start the podcast knowing I was going to get listeners. I started the podcast because I had something to talk about, and I had something that I wanted to share. And he reminded me that I started the podcast because it's something I could do and something that I could build. He was holding the mirror for me last night because I lost my confidence in myself. I lost the real reason why I started this podcast. And he helped me find myself and find that reason again. He helped me see it. I started this podcast for me. I started for my confidence, to watch my journey, to hear my journey, to see everything that happens, to have my support with me, to have my uncles in my corner, and to have my best friends in my corner, to let people out there in the world know that they have somebody in their corner, even if it doesn't feel like it. One of my best friends held the mirror for me last night. Let me hold the mirror for you. Let me be that person to tell you I'm proud of you. Let me be that person to tell you that we got this. That you can borrow my confidence. Let me be that person for you, because that's why I started this, was to let people know that they're not alone in anything that they do in life. Whether it's a fitness journey, a wellness journey, a self-love journey, or just life. Life itself is a journey, and you're not alone in it. Now, before we wrap up today's episode, I want to let you guys in on something that's really exciting. You all know this podcast started with my phone, a dream, and a whole lot of chaos. The chaos will not ever disappear from this. I never imagined that this little idea would grow into a community of people who genuinely show up for each other every week. As the podcast grows, I want it to grow with you. I want better microphones, better headphones, better sound, and better equipment. Not because I need fancy things, but because you deserve the best listening experience I could give you. So, welcome to the Level Up Laughing Through It Challenge. If you've been looking for a way to support the podcast, this is it. Every donation helps us get one step closer to upgrading the setup, and every donation unlocks some extra chaos from me. Here's how it works. A $10 donation unlocks an embarrassing story I've never shared on the podcast. At $25, I'll tell you a dating lesson I learned the hard way. At $50, you'll unlock a bonus mini episode called Things I Probably Shouldn't Admit on the Internet. At $75, I'll record a behind-the-scenes episode so you can see what really goes into the making of Laughing Through It. At $100, we're doing a listener Q&A where, within reason, nothing is off limits. And if we reach 150, you all get to vote on an entire storytime episode. You pick the story, and I'll tell it. Now, I also want to say this. If donating isn't something you do right now, please don't feel guilty. Supporting this podcast isn't only about money. Listening every week helps. Sharing an episode helps. Leaving a review helps. Telling one friend about the show helps. You being here helps. And I never want you to feel like you have to spend money to be a part of this community, because you're already a part of it. And money does not matter. But if we hit our first equipment grow, But if we hit our first equipment goal, we're celebrating together. I'll post a picture of the upgraded setup, and we'll do a special episode called Besties Built This, where I thank everyone who helped make it happen. Because this won't just be my studio. It'll be something we built together. And honestly, I think that's pretty cool. Before we go, I want to leave you with this. If you're in a season where your confidence feels a little shaky, borrow some. Borrow it from the people who love you. Borrow it from someone who's cheering you on. Borrow it from a podcast if you need to. Borrow it until you can build your own. Because one day, someone else is going to need to borrow confidence from you. And I hope you be the person who holds the mirror for them. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And always keep laughing through it.